custom live on streaming. We're great. Okay, so
Yeah.
hey everybody, we are hanging out with the one and only Kelly Nichols. You may know her from a couple things, married to Randall Nichols from Randall Nichols and the Water's Edge Band back in the day. And but more recently, you may know them from We Are the Echo. And Kelly, tell us, give us like a sentence of what
Mhm.
We Are the Echo is.
Oh gosh, a sentence.
I know.
We
Hard.
right. I think overall we care for vulnerable children and families to make sure that every child has a lasting and loving family.
Yes, so good. And this is not what this is about tonight. However, I would love to just point out that We're the Echo is one of our financial partners. Every single month, we support We're the Echo, and we absolutely love and adore what they are doing. And as you know, on Sundays and during the week, children is something that we're passionate about at Water's Edge, and that is no different with our missions. And so that is one of the reasons we wanted to reach out and not reach out. We wanted to partner with you guys, and
Yeah.
so we absolutely love what you're doing, and can't wait to announce what we're doing, going to do in the future with you guys. I'm super passionate about that, and I know
Mhm.
you guys are excited too. So, anyways, however, so if you're jumping in right now, go ahead and throw some comments in there. We are talking about tips and tricks from working at home, and I wanted to talk to Kelly about this because she has been doing it for quite a while. And I get you're a mom, and so you've been working at home for quite. How old is Eli?
He is 17.
Okay, so you've been working at home at least that long,
Yeah.
right? And but you've also been you do We're the Echo from Shed Quarters, which is
Yes.
on your guys' property, where you
Right.
guys live, and I know you do some other things.
Mhm.
And so you've been working at home for quite some time, and
Yeah.
so I thought
Mhm.
there's no one better than Kelly Nichols, mother of five, to jump on here and
Well,
talk to us a little bit about tips and tricks from working at home. So before we jump in, I
okay.
would love to y'all to be commenting, throwing some questions on there. This is very truly live, and so we'll be interacting with you in the chat. Say hello from where you're from. Hey Ron, hey Grammy, and Kelly, and you're one of my favorite people too, Kelly. Hi Kathy, and so just throw your questions. If you have funny things that have happened to you while working at home,
Mhm.
throw those on there. Kelly and I are actually going to read off some tweets at the end here. It's the last thing we do. We're going to read some tweets back and forth of some funny things that people have posted on Twitter, just like a couple one-liners of things that have gone wrong. It's like working from home fails, and so we'll finish with those. So don't miss out on that. We're going to be here maybe 15-20 minutes is my ideal, unless I just get to talking, which is that would be abnormal. So anyways, we'll just jump into this, and remember, post your questions down there, and we'll get right into this. So Kelly, you're a mother of five,
Mhm.
which is really exciting. Is that distracting at home at all, ever?
No, not at all. Right? Not in the least bit.
So tell us maybe, what's it like working from home on a regular basis? You've been doing it for quite some time now.
Right. Yes. So I've been working from home since I was in grad school and Eli was a baby, so 17 years.
Yes,
Hmm.
that's great.
Right. Yeah.
So what's it like on a regular basis? Like what's that look like for you?
Yeah. So I mean, I think the biggest thing that I could say is like you have to have a lot of flexibility, right? You have to be able to kind of know when you can work, and you have to take advantage of every kind of free minute. So it does in a lot of ways feel like your day is so dictated by like, oh, I have 10 free minutes here, or have an hour while the baby naps or whatever. But the way that I've seen it work best for me through the years is basically I divide my work into kind of two categories, like work that I can do with the kids and then work that I have to do alone. So over the years, my background is in counseling. Obviously right now with We Are the Echo, we do a lot of counseling. We do a lot of work with like child abuse situations, like big heavy topics that definitely don't need to be discussed in front of my kids. So my friend Amanda describes it as what she calls interruptible work and uninterruptible work. So
Oh, wow.
interruptible work is that work that you can do like around your kids, right? And I think that's different for everybody. It's probably some trial and error. For me, what I can tell is like if I'm standing at our kitchen bar, like in the open concept, so you can't get away from your kids, and I'm trying to do some work, and I hear like one of my kids maybe say like, "Hey, we should get on the roof and throw this." that's like where I can walk away from it real fast and be like, let's just check in and see what's happening. So for me, that might be like emails or database stuff. Like I can walk away from that really easy and come back to it and know where I'm at. But then there's other work that like is like I was saying is uninterruptible. It's stuff like conference calls, like heavy conversations that I know I'm going to have on the phone, or just things that take like a lot of brain power that like I'm finding myself, if I'm trying to do with the kids around and I'm just like, leave me alone, I just need 10 minutes to get this done. That's the stuff that gets filed away in the uninterruptible category. And I do those when the kids aren't around. So either in the morning or in the evening or when, I'm out in the shed.
Yeah, that's so great. So my little view just switched to me. I don't like looking at my own face. But so it's really cool talking about the interruptible time versus uninterruptible time, and it's almost like you're time blocking
Yeah,
at home.
right.
Whereas I would schedule all my phone calls to be together, or I would schedule all
Mhm.
my meetings to be together at the end of the day or beginning of the day, or however I want to prioritize those things. You're flipping that around a little bit and saying, okay, what would be okay for me for a kid to jump on my lap at this moment and me be working on that? And okay, I
Right.
go sit around them and work on that with
Hmm.
them because it'll be okay. And I love that. So that's great. I can't tell you. I was scrolling through Twitter today, looking at all the fails, and there's inappropriate ones, and there's great ones and hilarious ones, and but there were so many about animals like biting the screen, animals like doing all kinds of stuff, like and so I know if I was working at home with my kids, thankfully the babysitter is still taking them. They're like
Hmm.
one of like two kids that are there, which is great. But if that weren't happen, I know my son would be biting my computer screen or whatever the case is. But so fun, so fun. That's good. I just tried to scroll my phone screen with my mouse on my computer, and that didn't work. So we're going to jump into more questions here. Hey, y'all, don't forget to ask questions. Ask questions in the comments there. I'm checking them out right now. Hey, Karen. Hi, Georgia and Mark. Hello, everybody. So glad you're jumping on here. We're just asking some questions to Kelly Nichols from We Are the Echo. And she also goes to Water's Edge with her beautiful, amazing family. And I have another question for you here, Kelly. What's your best advice for someone just starting to work at home? Like this is maybe they just got the call that they're shutting the business down, which is a couple weeks late for the majority of people. But maybe there's someone who's just now starting, maybe last week or this week, and they're overwhelmed by the distance to the fridge that there is not, because that's been an issue for me. But maybe
Right.
maybe they're just overwhelmed. What's a quick tip for someone just jumping in?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that like knowing what you need to do in the daytime. Oh, I'm sorry. That's me.
You're good.
Sorry, that was my phone call. So I think that you have to no, sorry. You have to know what you can do in a daytime. Know what you can split into that interruptible category. So you kind of know what you're looking at throughout the day, and then just I mean, for me, having a routine throughout the day has been really helpful. It helps everybody. It kind of sets up the expectations, not just for myself, but also for my kids who are at home as well. So we kind of have a flow throughout the day. When we stick to that, then everyone kind of knows what to expect. They know when mom's going to be gone, when mom has to take a phone call. There's some flexibility in that. Obviously, things come up that you're not planning, but if we can kind of stick towards that, that really helps. And then knowing what I can get done, and really just like we were saying at the beginning of this, taking advantage of every minute that you do have. So it might be 10 minutes that I have, really quick to respond to an email, or 15 minutes really quick to take a quick phone call. Just sticking to that time helps me. At the end of the day, there are times where you're like, oh, I wasted so much time on Facebook, or I did this, or I did that. So just being accountable to those minutes and kind of using every bit that you can to get work done really helps.
That's great. That's great. I can't wait to share the story from Kathy Smith. Um, It looks hilarious. There's one in the comments. I'll get to that, Kathy. That's amazing. Um, and then I'm reading another one here. That's great. I should not be the one multitasking, talking
Oh,
and
I'm
reading.
like turning do not disturb on my phone right now.
That's really great. We did last Wednesday. This time I participated in a how to kill it at home with your spouse instead of kill your spouse at home.
Mhm.
Working together and that kind of stuff. And one thing you just touched on was communication, and setting those expectations, and that was a big thing we talked about last week as well. And so it's interesting. There's the communication It's kind of a key factor in everything with this. So that's great. One thing I didn't mention, and maybe you were going to mention this at some point, Kelly, is that which makes this even more impressive that you do all this at home, is that your kids are homeschooled.
Mhm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So okay, so you just took your legitimacy as an at-home worker to like level 10,000. So wow. Okay, so there's a lot of wisdom here, y'all. Here we go. Next question for you, Kelly. And y'all be posting any questions you got there. We're ready to handle those. Let's talk about space, like physical space. How has creating shed quarters, and maybe you can tell us what that is, allowed you to work more efficiently, and maybe what led to that creation?
Yeah, yeah. So when we started, I guess when we started kind of dreaming up what We Are the Echo would look like, one of the things we really wanted to do was have a dedicated space. So it wasn't just, I mean, we wanted to have meetings there. We wanted to be able to host informational sessions. So where people like interested in kind of jumping into foster care, they could come to us and do some informational sessions. All of like just having workspace, but also having like a protected and private space for counseling and then for visitations. So lots of times, parents who are kids are in the foster care system, they go and visit their kids at their local city office. So we want, our hope and dream was to offer a space that was a little less sterile, like a little more kind of a home atmosphere. But we needed space to do that. So we had talked about building an office, and one of our friends who's a realtor said, well, what about your garage? Why don't you turn that into the office? So there we go. We turned into the office, and we kind of affectionately in the beginning called it a she shed, but then Randall said that he wouldn't come out here and work if we called it a she shed. So we had to call it the shed quarters. So that's what it is. It's our shed quarters. And then right now it's been key too, because we kind of switch off who's working and who's with the kids. So it gives somebody that protected space to work. And like we said earlier, in those things that we're doing that we can't do around the kids, so like those real heavy, serious conversations and phone calls, that gives us the space to have those as well.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I'm gonna jump into Kathy's comment here because it's pretty funny, and then we're gonna go to a serious question
Okay,
from
because I
Randy.
can't see.
Yeah. Yep. Kathy says this, when I was working from home, ran an errand and let the kids stay at the pool under supervision. So they were supervised, everybody, before you jump down Kathy's throat.
Okay.
She ran an errand and let the kids stay at the pool under supervision, started storming. So they went home, door was ajar. So they went to a safe place and called the police. I guess it must've been a very serious storm. Short story. The police thought we had been robbed, but nope, just how it looked.
Yep.
So, yep. That's what happened with the kids. Yep.
Yep.
Not surprising.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happened to me a couple weeks ago. I mean, not with my kids at a pool, but where I never got the alarm punched into our alarm system at home, and within about 10 minutes, there were the police, and I had to say, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. I can't get my alarm into my code into the alarm system fast enough. And there were the fantastic Hampton police, and they were very, very kind. Anyways, okay, serious question. Are you ready for this, Kelly? I think this is great because I think I would imagine that as a part of We're the Echo, you deal with a lot of grief, you deal with a lot of anxiety, separation, you deal with a lot of things from people. And just in your own adoption stories, you've had to deal with a lot as well. And so I think I'll just throw this question at you, and then I'll jump in as well. But Grammy says, my daughter is working at home, homeschooling and trying to deal with grief. Her daughter's father died last week. She is overwhelmed. How can I help them?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Um, so I mean, I think that just kind of acknowledging those feelings, just to be able to say I'm overwhelmed. What we're feeling right now is grief, is just kind of the first step to saying like, this is the space that we're in. And then, understanding that grief doesn't really have a timeline, and that you're gonna, we talk about like the grief cycle, but it's not like, okay, well, first I'm feeling denial, this can't be happening, or I'm angry that, this happened or whatever. It's not like a plotted place that, you get here and then you move to this next space. It is cyclic. So whereas one day you may feel all of those emotions and then you start back over again. And sometimes I think we feel like that might be a setback. So like, whoa, I feel this and now I'm feeling this, but really it's still forward motion. So every day, every hour, you're getting through it, which is really the only way to process grief. So you're just, every moment you're getting through it. And I think to have that support for somebody just to be able to like be real, and however you're feeling is valid and okay, is great. So I think from afar, from family, from other people, just to be able to lean in and say like, I'm here for you, whatever you need.
Yeah, that's great. That's really great. I would just add to that. I had when I was 12, I had a sister pass away when she was 21 days old, and then I had my brother just was in a really serious car accident, has a really bad traumatic brain injury. I just say that to say that during those times we were cared for very, very well. And one of the things that helped my family the most was we had this in both situations. We had someone just like step up and do so many things
Mhm.
for us without us ever having to think about it. And so, Grammy, as you're thinking about your daughter's needs and what she's going through in the moment, any physical need that you think about that you think would help her, if you have a good relationship with her, I would just step in and do them. Like, you don't even have to ask. You don't have to. You can totally take them off her plate, and then offer in to watch your granddaughter for a little bit so that she can have time to kind of deal with that grief as well. I think those are great starting points there. Great question. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd say like to just put words to that, basically let her be a buffer.
mm,
So yeah, whatever needs, because a lot of times, when you ask somebody who's hurting or struggling, like, what do you need? I don't even know, because you're so overwhelmed. You don't even know what you need. So having someone that can be that point person to manage it is super helpful.
that's so good. Being a buffer. That's great. Alrighty, I have another question for you, Kelly, and then maybe we'll go one more question and we'll jump into some work at home fails. So here we go. So this is just confession time a little bit for me. I have a problem lately being on time to meetings. Like, that is not me at all. Like, I have a type A personality. I need to be on to meetings on time. I don't need to necessarily be to things on time for like my family life. That's a totally separate situation. However, I have a problem being on on time lately to Zoom meetings. Like, all of a sudden, like, I just am late. I'm a minute late to a meeting. I'm like, oh my gosh, what just happened? I was like, oh yeah, I actually just did 6 loads of dishes. Not really. Maybe like I put a dish in the dishwasher and
Mhm.
did something. How at home do you like stay on schedule?
Um, so like I think I said before, we have a routine. So for Randall, it's really important to have a schedule. Like at 1 o'clock, we're doing this. At 1:15, we're doing this. For me, I'm more of like a routine. We kind of have a flow for our day. Our kids have checklists, like they go through all of that. But so really for Randall, but it's benefit us all, is we use Alexa. I have to say her name quietly because I'm sitting next to her and she'll like talk. But so we use her to set reminders throughout the day. And I would say every hour there's a reminder going off. And it literally could be everything from like, you have a Zoom call in 10 minutes to don't forget to take the trash out, because right now it's like, what day is this? Is it Thursday? Yeah, like, so we don't know.
Um,
Like the baby gets a bowl, like a water bolus, like in her G tube every hour. And we forget that in the busy hours. So now we have like a reminder that goes off. We also have our calendar, like Randall and I have our calendar synced. So like if I'm the parent and he's out in the office working, because we kind of switch up like that. But if I'm doing that, like I can see, oh, he's in a Zoom call. So I'm not going to like wander out to the garage for like the shed quarters for an espresso, because the espresso machine's out there. So like so like synced calendars, and then like our smart devices that remind us throughout the day.
yes, that's great. I think Randall must be on y'all's YouTube right now and said she heard you. I guess.
That's really funny. Usually she doesn't listen to me, even though she listens to all of our kids, even the nonverbal ones. Like they'll be yelling at her and she's like, okay. And I'm like, please play this song. And she won't do it.
Yes, that's
Right.
fantastic. Alexa, remind Randall to play Frozen 2 at 9 p.m. tonight. Did she get it?
Oh, she's talking to me. That's
That's
great.
hilarious. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead, and do you have the list of
Yes. Yes.
tweet? Okay, awesome. So I'll start with number one, and then we'll just laugh at them as we go, and you can take number two, and we'll go down the list. And if we go too long, I'll cut us off, because I do have one really hilarious video to share with everybody.
Okay.
The ultimate working from home fail that we'll get to it. So
Mhm.
anyways, so Tesla Raj says, yes, first virtual meeting here, or where a dude joins with a shirt off in bed, realizes it, freaks out, and slams his laptop shut. Happy Friday, everybody.
I love it. That actually happened to a friend of mine. Okay, so here's the next one. Mrs. Kathy says, well, I teach the first of 2 virtual yoga classes in 15 minutes and have managed to fill my house with smoke by baking potatoes in the oven. Hopefully it will look like cool, dry ice effect. That's great. Just ambiance, right? Like,
That's right. Just setting the mood. That's great.
I like it.
Great. All right. Ashley says, forget the tech issues. Does anyone have any tips on how to self-isolate from one's fridge? It has become a problem. Listen, Ashley, I absolutely get it. The fridge is an issue. It's like most of the day for me, it's 3 steps away. And that's terrible. I think honestly, because we've been at home so much, our grocery bill is like tripled. Because like before I would regularly not have breakfast. And then oftentimes I would skip lunch, or I'd have lunch at Chick-fil-A or something like that. But now I'm actually eating 3 meals a day, and our grocery bill is hurting.
Yeah, I believe it. We get our groceries shipped to our house, and I feel like I have to tell our shopper that I have 5 kids and teenagers every time, because she's like, I'm sorry, there's a maximum on how many. And I'm like, but I have teenagers. Like, this will be gone in 4 days. Okay. Beth says, both hubby and I are work from home and each thought the other was watching The Offspring. On another note, anyone have any tips on how to remove nail polish from hardwood floors? Asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend. Right.
That's so, yep, that's us 100%.
Yep. Rebecca says, first casualty in my new work from home setup, the ability to produce edible food. Turns out the phrase, I'll just check my email while that's cooking, should be as mistrusted as, I'll work out tomorrow.
All right.
So true.
Karen says, we got a very small trampoline for the garden to burn off some of the kids' energy. They are now fighting because they can't share. They both want to play with the box the trampoline came in. Why is that always the case?
Oh my gosh, we'll keep a box around the house, and sometimes we'll let my son paint on it. Man, they stick around for a long time.
I know. Right now we have a massive fort situation happening in the front room because boxes.
And all the Amazon packages are not helping anything. They just, you can just make the biggest fort. All right, we'll end on this one, and then we'll jump into a really funny video. Legit thought I was coming down with some flu-like symptoms, tiredness, headaches. Turns out I was just having caffeine withdrawals from buying decaf coffee by mistake. That's terrible.
Oh, that's the worst.
That's the best. That's awesome. Well, y'all, I'm going to actually kill the meeting as soon as this video is over. That's just going to be the cliffhanger there. You get to enjoy that, laugh at that. However, but before I hit play, I just want to say thank you so much to Kelly for jumping on here. I just literally just asked her yesterday, and she's like, "Yep." And so I love your family, Kelly. Love We Are the Echo, and we cannot wait to see how we can partner together in the future. And we appreciate you so much.
Well, thank you guys for having me, and we love Water's Edge.
Absolutely. Oh, do you have any? You don't have. You can say no. Do you have any last minute? I mean, you said some really great things.
Yeah, I think probably the most important thing for us is, especially if you're home with your spouse right now, and working from home with your spouse, is to find some time to check in with each other throughout the day, to just ways to encourage each other. And then we not only do this, like we do this to stay unified, but we also pray together for unity, because what we know is that nothing derails mission like disunity. And this is the time that I think God has some amazing things planned for all of us, right? Like, this is a time unlike no other. And we just don't want to give the devil a foothold to grab in, and just taking that time to remind us that we're on the same team, we're on the same page, we're working towards the same mission is so key, and we have to do it daily.
Yeah. That's so good. Well, thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that so much. And I love your other comment about the distractables and the indistractables.
Yes.
It's so good. The time blocking almost with that. Well, I love your comment for that. Let me go ahead and pray for everybody working at home for unity, and we'll roll this clip.
All
God,
right.
thank you so much for the Water's Edge community, everyone checking out the video today. God, the Nickel family, we are the Echo. God, I just pray for increase in their ministry. God, pray for abundance in their ministry and ultimately unity. God, and we are the Echo and Water's Edge, Lord. We just lift both of them up and everyone, God, who's working at home now. That's so much different. Lord, we love you so much. We ask all in your name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, y'all. I hope you're ready for this hilarious video. I'm honestly just going to kill the meeting right after it's over. So stay tuned and enjoy. See ya. Oh, wait, I have to hit share. Where's my big clip? Well, this is awkward. Ah, found it. Share screen. You guys are going to like this. Here we go. Can you see the video, Kelly?
Yes.
It says one company's online meeting went hilariously viral.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah, it's so good.
Hi. Hey guys. Tony! Can you hear us? Tony! Oh no! Don't. Jen, call him. Oh my gosh. Hold on, I'm gonna text a couple pictures of that.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Oh boy.
What's up?
Tony, I can see you. We can all see you.
He gone.
Oh.
So good. Thanks for joining, everybody. Final last tip, make sure you put some pants on as you're Zooming throughout this next couple weeks. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you later. Bye, Kelly.
Bye.